Well, folks, here we are again with another episode of PBR with Nate. I hope everybody had a good weekend and enjoyed themselves in this great, magnificent country of ours and enjoyed your liberty and, and enjoyed doing what you want to do. I know I did. However, I didn't enjoy cleaning out my work van and washing it and doing stuff. That wasn't that enjoyable. However, I do enjoy having a job and having a work van, so it works out as a wash. Anyway, so I guess what we're going to talk about today is we're going to, I guess, delve a little bit more into the liberty stuff and how it has to do with current news. Okay, so liberty. Liberty is, it was said best back in the revolutionary times, give me liberty or give me death. Allow me the freedom to move and to do commerce and to trade and to conduct my house and to do those things like that as I see fit. As long as I'm not stepping on anybody else's right to do the same thing. I guess that's liberty. I mean, I could go, grab Merriam-Webster and look up liberty and give you a definition, but I mean, my goodness, come on. So anyway, I want to talk about that as it concerns the current political climate. Here again, I'm not hating on anybody. I'm not hating on the way you vote. I'm not hating on the way you conduct your business. I'm not hating on the way that you exercise your rights. I'm not hating on the way that you come out and speak or what. I'm not. I really am not. All I'm doing here is promoting a constitutional right that is for the citizens of the United States of America. Okay, so the current political climate is, and this is something that's happened since the last time we spoke, is that the current Speaker of the House has come out and said that she is doing a formal impeachment inquiry. Okay, that's all well and good. I mean, you've been trying to impeach him since before he took the oath of office. We've all known that from day one. Not a big deal. I mean, I understand. However, if you look back in history as it goes, go back to Johnson and any of the others that's been impeached. Clinton. Don't say Nixon. Nixon wasn't impeached. He resigned before that was. Some on my mustache. Wow, thank God I got it. Anyway, he resigned before he could be impeached. Anyway, so if you look back in history, it was before there was an impeachment inquiry brought. It was put before a House vote, and people were put on record. They were put. I mean, seriously, they were put on record. And I mean, that's kind of a big deal. I mean, wouldn't you want to know? I mean, it doesn't matter what side you're on in the whole deal. Wouldn't you want to know where your representative stood? But that apparently is not necessary this time. So, one representative from San Francisco is able to bring this forth. So she is one representative from San Francisco. Does that necessarily represent the feelings of the entire country? If the feelings of the entire country is that we want this president impeached and we want to bring this trial up and take it before the Senate and have the Chief Justice of the United States oversee it, and wouldn't you think that we would need a consensus of the country? I mean, I would think so. Now, I understand that Jerry Nadler supports it. Elijah Cummings supports it. Adam Schiff for Brains supports it. I'm sorry, it's irresistible. It's either bullshit or Schiff for Brains. I'm sorry. Maxine Waters. Now, these are all heads of committees in the House. Let's take a look at where they're from. Nancy Pelosi, obviously Speaker of the House, San Francisco. Maxine Waters, I believe, now she is Finance Committee. I believe she represents that Oakland area, maybe. I don't know. I know she don't live in the district. Let's see. Adam Schiff, I think, is L.A. Elijah Cummings is Baltimore, as we all know, the rat-infested area, which is not rat-infested, of course, until you put TV cameras on it and talk about it not being rat-infested, and then rats come out behind you while you're on camera talking about how great a district it is. Nonetheless. And Jerry Nadler, somewhere in New York, heavily blue district. And there's one other committee chairman, I can't remember his name, but I think possibly somewhere else in New York. I don't know. All I know is this, is that, so we have 6 or 7 or whatever heavily blue districts that are supporting this. And when I say blue, I mean Democrat. And as Nancy Pelosi once put it, that you could set this PBR, she said glass of water, I say PBR, you could set this PBR up there and put a D next to it and they would vote for it. So, why, at this time, if the entire country is so dead set against this president, and if he has committed high crimes and misdemeanors, why can't we put this to a full vote of the House? This seems to me to be against liberty. I just don't understand it. I don't. Hold on a second, my kid's coming out here. So that's what happens when you have kids. You have to take care of that and you have to address it, and my kids are everything to me. And they're another reason why I do this. So anyway, as I was saying, we have all these representatives from these, I don't know, it just seems to me like, tradition dictates that, I don't know if it's actually constitutional. I'm not a constitutional scholar. I have read the Constitution a couple times, but I'm not a constitutional scholar. It just seems to me like you would want to get a feel from the whole country about how this should go. But apparently that's not the case this time, which it always has been in the past, but not this time. Now, Pelosi's just going to come out and say, hey, we're doing this. So, okay, whatever. Go ahead. That's what you want to do. Go ahead and do it. That brings me back to liberty. Now, if I have complete liberty, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Wouldn't you think that the President of the United States does? I would think so. However, I'm not the authority. Hold on, another kid. You know, I love my girls. My girls are beautiful. They're amazing kids. They drive me crazy sometimes. It's either I love them to death or I want to bury them in the backyard. But, you know, what are you going to do? They're my kids. My mother probably wanted to bury me in the backyard too. So, anyway, as I was saying, does not the president deserve to have the same rights as the rest of us? Now, let's think about this. This whole impeachment inquiry has come about due to some phone call with the Ukraine and blah, 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 this, that, and another, and some whistleblower who did not have first-hand information, although got it second-hand, whatever. Okay, so the president has executive privilege because he is the chief executive. Some things need to remain secret because of national security or whatever else, blah, blah, blah. So this gets brought up. What does he do? They're talking about cover-up. So what does he do? He releases the entire transcript of the phone call. And on top of that, gets declassified and releases the whistleblower complaint. Which, I don't know how you can be a whistleblower if it's hearsay. Heard it from a friend who, heard it from a friend who, heard it from another, you've been talking to the Ukraine. Anyway, nonetheless, I just don't get it. Okay, so you wouldn't expect any other president to release transcripts of phone calls with another country, which could potentially harm national security. But this one does. Just goes ahead and says, here you go, here's the transcript. Here's this, here's that. And then, you know, I mean, and still, it gets put out, it's like, oh, he's covering up. What the hell is he covering up? I mean, come on. Reasonable people, I don't care what political side you're on, reasonable people can see that it's obviously not a cover-up. If you don't investigate Biden, then we're not gonna withhold this money. No, we're talking about CrowdStrike here, which has a legitimate deal with the 2016 election, which everybody has been screaming that Russian metal, Russian metal, Russian metal. So President Trump comes up and he says, okay, I want to get into this. Who screwed around in the 2016 election? Maybe this CrowdStrike thing. That's where what you want to call a favor comes from. It's not until way later that he mentions Biden's son. He says, oh, by the way, you know, hey, I heard this thing happen. You know, I tell you what, why don't you talk to the Attorney General? We'll talk about that and get to the bottom of it. Didn't mention Giuliani in that one. He mentioned Giuliani in the other thing, CrowdStrike, along with Bill Barr. When he mentioned the thing about Biden's son, Hunter, and also the Hines kid, who was John Kerry's stepson, That's when he talked about William Barr. That was secondary to everything, and that was not part of the favor. So I don't care what you say. I don't. So now, I want to ask you this question. Well, I want to make a statement first, and then I want to ask you a question. The statement I'm making is the statement I made at the beginning of this video blog. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. We all, as American citizens, under the Constitution and laid out under the Declaration of Independence, we have that unalienable right. Correct? Correct. Don't say incorrect. Correct, because it's correct. So, excuse me. Does not the President of the United States, who is also a citizen, natural born, have that same unalienable right? I believe so. So now, here's a question. Now that the opposing party, I don't care who it is, because I'm talking future here. In the future, now, future, whatever. Does the opposing party have the right to impose their will upon a sitting president? I believe now the precedent, not president, precedent has been set. Our current president, Donald J. Trump, just fully and completely released everything. Declassified. No cover-up, no nothing. Phone call with foreign leader, blah, blah, blah. So now the precedent has been set that as soon as we question a president over his, I don't know, his dealings with a foreign country, now, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Let's say Joe Biden gets elected, or Elizabeth Warren, and the Republicans start raising a bunch of bullshinola on that. I mean, I'm just giving you a hypothetical situation. They start raising a bunch of bullshinola. Oh, he's illegitimate. All this, all that, whatever. So now that our current president, yes, if you live in the United States, he is our current president. Now that he has just released all this stuff, completely declassified and everything else. So now, what do you think the talking points are going to be? Oh, well, President Biden or President Warren or President Booker or President Harris, they're claiming executive privilege. Well, what about a year ago when President Trump released completely 100% the transcripts of these conversations with foreign leaders? Well, this is national security. Well, this was also national security then. So what are you going to do now? So, I mean, think about this. Liberty cuts both ways. I don't care what political party you're from. I don't care what philosophy you are. Anything else. We're talking about liberty here. We're talking about an unalienable right that's guaranteed by the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. Now, that's why screw Marxism, screw Maoism, screw Stalinism, screw Leninism, screw any of that stuff. Screw Nazism. Screw it. Forget it. There's a lot of other choice words I could use, but I've made promises to people that I will not use those kind of words in my blog. I can tell you this. What is happening now? What is happening now to the President of the United States? It does not. It really honestly is not an attack against the President of the United States, because the President would not be there had he not won the Electoral College, had he not won the election. So guess how did he win the election? Guess what? People voted for him. They exercised their liberty. And they voted for this man. So, what is happening now, all of these attacks here and there, whatever. Russia, Ukraine, whatever. Name it. Stormy Daniels, blah, 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 blah. Is an attack on the people that voted for him. What these elites up in Washington, D.C., the elites that run the New York Times, CNN, blah, 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 even Fox, I mean, their newsroom, whatever. But, they still get attacked because they have certain people in there. However, they still get attacked. But even Fox. What they're trying to say is that your vote does not count. You obviously are an idiot. You didn't know what you were doing. You might have been drugged. You might have been whatever. So anytime they say Trump done this or Trump done that, insert your name here if you voted for it. So it is an attack on our liberty as citizens of this United States. Slur it again, Nate. Anyway, that's why it's called PBR with Nate. What I want to tell you is that the free exercise of our liberty is currently under attack. And if we, as a citizenry of this United States, do not stand up and fight back, then it's going to be taken away. What is liberty? Liberty is less government control. What do you hear from that side constantly? We want the government to control health care. We want the government to control college admissions. We want the government to control this, to control that, to control this, to control housing, whatever else. We want to give $1,000 a month to, families and blah, blah, blah. It is an eroding away of our liberty. And I challenge my, more liberal friends that have consistently voted for Democrats in the past. Look, I'm not saying, look, vote for who you want to. I love you nonetheless. I don't care. I love you nonetheless. But I challenge you to think about this. How much control do you want to have over your own life? Think about what they're saying. And actually apply that to your own life in each and every day. The way that you pay for your house, the way that you pay for your bills, the way that you go to work, the way that you do these things. Apply that. Apply what they're saying to your own life. And that's all I'm asking you to do. I'm not asking you to vote for Trump or whatever. I'm not. I will never say that. I will never suggest for you to vote for anybody. I just want you to think from moment to moment and in your own life what you want to see happen. You know, I'm not going to question your patriotism if you vote for Bernie Sanders. I might think it's weird, but I'm not going to question your patriotism because I know some of my Democrat friends have actually served and fought for their country. And my hat's off to you. Because I love you, you're my brother. I served in the military too. So, there you go. Here's to you. But I want you to really, I don't know, just to me, analyze it. Take it to the nth degree. Sit around, get hammered, and think about it. I don't know. That's just me. I tend to do that anyway. So, nonetheless, we need to think about our liberty, folks. We need to think about where it stands now. We're on a precipice, I believe. And I think it's kind of shaky. You got a lot of young people out there that think that the government needs to control everything. I personally wish that they had been my children so I could slap them across the face. But they're not. So, I have to do this. And I enjoy doing it. And it's fun. Because I get to sit here and drink beer on camera and slur my words and nobody cares. Because I might say something smart every now and then. Not really that smart. I'm just a dumbass old electrician that wants to take care of his family. And wants to keep my home and my property. And, you know, be able to buy some beer and buy some food and buy some toys and ride my Harley every now and then. That's where I'm at. Where are you at? Like I say, it's PBR with Nate. Keep it shiny side up. And in the infamous words of John Walton, don't forget, boys and girls, to eat it every day.